Well, hello everybody. Very happy to see you. I am here to do the October Q&A. I didn't think I would be, but here I am. So bear with me just a moment here, and I am going over to feed this into one of my groups as well. So hoping I find it, hoping I see it. Time will tell in a moment. In the meantime, know that you are fully supported. There it is there. Fully supported. I am in a really interesting place right now. Sharon, now I want to go and put this into that group. Thank you. Where are you? Right there. Okay, beautiful. There. So just taking a few breaths. There we go. I'm going to shut that down. I'm over here still. Beautiful. Okay. So, and there's of course this weird post on my thing that keeps showing up and I don't want it on there. Ay. Comments. I'll take that comment off of there. I don't know how to get it off of there. Delete comment. There we go. And all of this is happening behind the scenes before anybody sees me live. Anyway, hi everybody, it's Sandra Pelly. I am here to do the October Q&A. Very excited about this. I'm always excited about doing Q&As because the questions always bring up some really interesting energy and really kind of cool things occur. So let's take a moment, first of all, to breathe into a grounding. So closing your eyes, if you will. If you're driving, please do not close your eyes. So taking a moment to take a breath. And another one. And another one. Feel how stabilizing that is. Asking for your mind, body, and soul and all aspects of yourself to be willing to receive and share. Stepping into the power of I am. I am open. With no expectations. No limitations. And I am creating my outcome. I'm feeling the power of who you are in this space. And when I ask you to feel the power of who you are in this space, quietly say your name or loudly say your name. When I say the I am, say your name. I am. I am. I am. And with that, I'm also inviting in the gatekeepers, the way showers, our compassionate spirit guides, and my own personal team that assists me with doing these Q&As. And that is very much Source Dragon today, very much coming in and being very strong and prominent in my world, in this space with the Q&As. And if you hear something that resonates for you, then that's fine. It is yours to hear as well, okay? So I'm going to start with the questions. And I had them all up on my thing here. Now they are not there. So bear with me a moment as I go into the Soulful Empowerment Group again, because that's where all the questions are. And I very much appreciate that. Thank you, guys. So the first question starts with, where are we? With Mary. And what her question is, I'm going to share it in the comments here, is what is the most important thread I should follow connected to business to set the stage coming into 2025? So Mary asks, what is the most important thread I should follow connected to business to set the stage coming into 2025? I love the power of what you've asked there, Mary. I love how you're recognizing this beautiful chord there. And I'm going to write this in there. Yikes. Okay, so I'm just feeling into what Source Dragon is showing first. And it's really interesting because I'm seeing bricks and I'm seeing chalk. I have no idea what that means, but I'm seeing bricks and chalk. So let me just kind of dive into that again. What is the most important thread I should follow connected to business to set the stage coming into 2025? Okay, so there's something about bricks being very foundational. It's also something about bricks being very solid, and they're not easily broken. And then there's something about the chalk, which can draw things, create things, and that can be erased and changed and altered. So there's finding some balance in recognizing the foundational pieces, and also to a willingness to travel through that in a different way. And it figures, my husband is trying to phone me. Actually, he's probably going to go to bed right now. I am, what do I want to say here with this? I'm seeing the chalk. First, the chalk was on the left. The chalk was on the right, and the bricks were on the left. And then I'm now seeing them all stacked on top of each other, meaning that the chalk and one stick of the bricks and one stick of chalk. I'm having difficulties with B's and C's today, apparently. There's something in this message about being willing to let your focus shift, or that your plans, it's okay to alter plans is what's coming up. Okay, that there are foundational pieces that you are building, you have built, and there's plans that you have kind of got this written map in your head, if you will, and you can change them and rewrite them as well. Okay, so let's go with the next question. The next question I have is from the beautiful Lav, and they're all mixed up in here. So her question is 7 minutes in, give or take. I've been in a being state for a while and a bit bored and restless. Any guidance on specific action for the next 6 months, especially in terms of livelihood, as I'm finding myself as a crossroad? It's so interesting because I can feel the energy of you falling trustingly backwards again. And when I say falling trustingly, I don't know what I even said there. Lav, what I'm feeling is this energy of when there's a group of people and they are going to support you, you're falling back into their arms and you can trust that they're there. This is what I'm hearing, but with regards to the things that you've already done, the things that you have in place, it is absolutely fine to start to reawaken those bits. It's to fall back on what you are familiar with doing in this space right now, instead of thinking that you have to recreate the wheel. Okay, so there's something very, very powerful going on with that falling back in trust. There's a lot of trust happening there as well. So that's the message that's coming through for you, Lav, is to allow yourself to fall back on the things that you're familiar with doing, and do one step at a time. You may be familiar with that next tiny step. Plot something out. Have a look at what the mountain is, the livelihood that you want to head for, what your goals are, and recognize what you feel you're capable of doing with regards to that. Because sometimes when we have a big goal, we don't understand the work that's involved. I think you do have an idea of the work that's involved, given the work that you've done in this last year. And I'm saying it in that manner because you had to do something. And this is the same thing now. You have to do something. And because you have to do something, you're being asked to trust that the things that you know how to do are the best place to start. Thank you guys, are the best place to start. And it's so interesting because with that galactic energy that Source Dragon is showing me, it's showing hearts and light bulbs. So a lot of trust, and trust those ideas that are popping in your head, especially if they are similar to what you've already done. And that doesn't mean that you have to continue to do what you've already done in the past. It just means that it's a good place to start. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so the next question, that's a big one. The next question is from Melody. And Melody, this is kind of a big one here. So bear with me as I just mark on here so you can know where to go look at it. Melody asks, what does Spirit want me to know? I have 3 financial paths. Where do I focus? It's so interesting because when you say 3 financial paths, think about past, present, and future, me, myself, and I, the Holy Trinity, if you will. What feeds your soul when you look at those 3 financial paths that you have, and which one is the most viable for you in this moment? And if you go, oh wow, this one is the most viable, then listen to your heart. Is this the one that's feeding your soul? And if it's something that nauseates you, then you know that it's totally off of who you are. And if it's something that you do feel strongly energetically that you're very connected with it, then it's okay to step into that. Okay. Trust your judgment, have faith. And I think you know where I'm coming from when I say have faith, especially with regards to the Holy Trinity in this. Ask for their divine guidance. There's something very powerful about all 3 of these paths. And I'm just feeling to the energy of how they're actually merging together. So it's almost like there's this I shape that's happening. So I can't do it like that. I have to do it like this in front of me here. But there's that one in the middle, whatever that middle one is, it's the one that opens either direction, right? So there's something about this I energy happening, the Trinity energy happening, and that they all converge. They all come together as one, okay? There's something energetically happening there. And you're being asked to have faith or to lean into the Holy Trinity, okay, around this. Let me just see if there's anything else with regards to that. And I'm very strongly seeing a pencil. There's a pencil showing up, and the pencil showing up on the right side. So what does the right side and this pencil mean for you? Okay, Melody? Beautiful. Okay, so the next one is from Maria. Okay, bear with me, everybody. Thank you for your patience. I wish to ask my spirit guides if there's anything I need to let go of before the winter solstice. Oh, I need a drink of water on that note. Bear with me here for a second. Where did I put my drink of water? I lost my drink of water. Oh, it's way behind my computer. So there's something about I've lost something. And it's interesting that water is involved. So I'm going to read that question again. I wish to ask my spirit guides if there's anything I need to let go of before the winter solstice. So what do you feel like you've lost? You're being, and it's so interesting because I'm feeling like the inner word control is coming in. And I'm not thinking that you feel like you've lost control, but I'm using the word control as the example. When we think we need to control something, it begins to become really difficult because we're attempting to control it. We have expectations coming in. When we decide to let go of control and let it happen naturally, then what happens is that we actually are in way more control, actually. So it's the same thing with this. You know, I was attempting to find my lost cup of water. So what do you feel like you've lost? Be willing to let go of the need to find that, because it will come naturally back to you with this winter solstice. Like, I'm just feeling the power of that winter solstice. It's so incredible, the imagery I'm getting for you, Maria, with this. And when I say when I'm getting this imagery, what I'm really getting the sense of is I'm seeing the moon. I'm seeing like it is a full moon. I'm not sure if it's a full moon on the winter solstice or not sitting here right now. Having said that, I see the full moon and I can see its rays shining on you. So whether it is a full moon where you're at or not, the rays are actively triggering or actively igniting, activating you in some manner. And you have the ability to use that in a very powerful way. So whatever you feel like you've lost in this period leading up to the winter solstice, be willing to let it go, because in letting it go, it will come back naturally to you. Okay, that's wild. And you know what's coming up? This is really cool. It's really cool, Maria. What's coming up is I have this tale of my life to tell you. And this, again, if this resonates for any of you guys, please do listen and know that these messages are for you as well. So for a lot of years, I thought that my mom let me watch this really crazy TV show where, and I'm going to get graphic here for a moment, so bear with me, where a miner was literally being crushed. Okay, the mine had caved in. And I thought for the longest time that my mom had let me watch this TV show at a very young age, right? And it was in talking with a beautiful soul, a beautiful friend of mine. She's got a question coming up in here too, Sue. In talking with her, I can remember exactly where I was at that time too. Like it was in 2019. And I can remember exactly where I was, like in this campground down in the States. And like I can remember the big pine trees and everything. And as I was talking to her about this experience that my mom had let me watch on TV, it was in that moment that it came through with such clarity that it wasn't something that my mom had let me watch. It was something that I had energetically tapped into and shut down my gifts. And as soon as that awareness came in, I was able to let go of why does everybody else have this ability to do this or to do that? It was so interesting because where I am now, it's crazy where I am now with regards to all this beautiful connection and awareness that I have. So that might be something to be aware of when you think about what you've lost. Okay, Maria, and anybody else. That was a powerful one. Thank you. Okay, I'm just scrolling through here. Okay, that's that way. I'm going to go to here. Gloriana. She said she started to write something. Gloriana, I've just really been, I haven't had a chance to reply on your posts, but I've definitely been witnessing your experience with the hurricane and the power and what's going on around you in different places, like within, blocks or half a mile or a mile, and what you're experiencing and what they're experiencing. So I'm really witnessing that with you right now. So I love what you wrote here. She literally writes, "Hi Sandra, I started to write several times and stopped and deleted. So apparently there's something I am supposed to hear. What is it?" It's so interesting because thank you for being of service. Thank you for the messages that you are writing about your experience. I'm finding them very empowering for myself and very empowering for others. My husband and I were avid mountain bikers, as you very well know, Gloriana, and possibly the rest of you who are listening to this know. And two of our people that we watch on YouTube, both Seth with Berm Peaks and Alex with Single Track Sampler, I think is his YouTube channel. These are avid mountain bikers. As it turns out, they're both down in the Asheville area. And they've come on and they've created some really incredible, real, like let's get real videos about what's occurred down in Asheville from their perspective, because they're in the middle of it. Like their homes have been affected, their communities have been affected, their blocks been affected, and what they've been out doing. And so your messages that you've been delivering on social media, your posts, it's something that needs to be heard, because like I'm looking at what happened in Jasper, my hometown, which I live literally 50 miles away from. And I say 50 miles for your benefit because you're from the US. Now that the media presence isn't there, that doesn't mean that the problems have gone away. The problems are still there. They're huge. And that's exactly what's been going on with Asheville and North Carolina and Florida. And that, so your stories are so important to tell. And I think that that's what the message is right here, is that, that don't stop writing. Do keep writing. Do keep expressing what's going on, because people need to know, and you have a wide audience. And this is how the word is getting out, and maybe help is able to come to those who need it because of that. So that's the message I'm getting. And what I'm visually seeing, Gloriana, in my beautiful orange source dragon with its galactic energy in its upper limbs, is a dove, a white dove. There's something very powerful about white dove energy and what you're doing with your messages. Wow. I didn't expect that. That brings up a lot of emotion in me right now. Very, very powerful. Yeah. Okay, so let me carry on with the next question. Okay, so Alejandra. That was a potent one. Just kind of reeling a little bit from that. So collectively grounding us in again and feeling the beauty and the power of a flower. And its ability to sway. Thank you. So Aleandra's question is, and I think this is a very important one for everybody, is how can I get out of my own way? I love, love, love this question, Aleandra. I was literally expressing this to one of my clients the other night. We were talking about, she was talking about channeling. And I was telling her how sometimes we get in our own way. We think that what's coming through is we can't deliver that message like that, or what's coming through, you know, like there's all these different things. And sometimes if we just stop and take a breath and literally say to yourself, I need to get out of my own way, that is so empowering. And when you think about what is the experiencing that you're experiencing where you feel like you should be getting out of your own way, having that conscious decision that you need to get out of your own way may give you the confidence or the courage to actually step into it. If you're feeling something in your belly, choose for that to be excitement about what the next step is versus fear. Okay, that's a really big way to start to get out of your own way. Very, very powerful. I loved your question. Okay. Janice. It's comical because I was driving when your question came through, Janice, and all I can see is, hi, Sandra, I'm laughing at myself right now. And given what my day has been like today, I really needed to hear or see just that phrase, is that I'm laughing at myself right now. So this is beautiful. Janice writes, hi, I'm laughing at myself right now. I write a question and answer it myself, then write another question and answer it. I feel that my guides are really working at getting my attention lately, but I'm not receiving the message clearly. I feel I am putting up interference as I'm not quite ready or perhaps willing to hear what they have to say. Love to hear your thoughts. Well, I personally love that you're asking a question and you're literally answering it, and you've done it more than once, that it seems to be continually happening. So I think that you have a belief right now that you're not hearing them. Thank you, guides. Wow, that was powerful. And I'm going to say that again. There's a belief that you think that you're not hearing them and that you're putting up interference. And I think that that's not actually happening. I think that you are at a point in your journey now that it's coming so naturally that it's actually almost startling that it's happening naturally. So it can be happening naturally. This is weird, right? But in fact, it actually is. So this is a beautiful case, just like Aleandra just asked, is how do I get out of my own way? This is you getting out of your own way, right? So accept that you're that capable. That's what I'm hearing. Accept that you're that capable. Accept that you are receiving the answers. Okay. Yeah, so it's not that you're not receiving the message, and there's the not, right? Um, it's more that you are, however you think that they should be, not that they should be different. Um, there's something that, how do I word this? Bear with me here a second. um, I think like I'm so seeing a turtle coming over my right shoulder here right now, and it's a beautiful. It's not like a little tiny turtle. This is a significant sized turtle that's walking across in this direction, back to front on the right side, and um, you you possibly may have felt like this is so slow going. I'm never going to get this. I am. There's that. I'm never going to get this. When the reality is that because of your pace, you've actually been doing it, and you don't even realize that you are doing it. That's what's coming through. So accept that you're doing it, accept that you're receiving the messages, and um, and be in that space now. Be in that space that you are. You are doing it. And I hope you hear what I'm saying with that. I hope you hear what I'm saying with that, okay? Janice, that was very powerful. Okay, so Joan is next. And she would like a general reading. Okay. And on that note, I am going to grab my water because I do know where it is. So there's something about water. And this is interesting because is it something that Joan's physical body specifically is asking for? Okay, just give me a second here. My throat chakra is acting up as well a little bit. Okay, thank you. So I'm using my body as a pendulum, Joan. And when I asked if this was something that your body is asking for, it was a definitive no. Okay. So it's not your physical body. Is it your land? Yes. So there's something going on in your land, and your land is asking for something from you. Okay. I know you're very, very powerful in acknowledging your land, and you've done something very incredible with your land. I think that I feel that your land wants. Oh yeah, okay, very wow, powerful here. So I'm feeling as though you're being asked to go to a space on your land, and there's an energy that they are wanting to gift you in this. Okay, that they're acknowledging you and what you have done for the land. They want you to find that space in your property, sit there, and be in the space of receiving. That's the message that's coming through. Okay, Joan? And that's so fascinating because you know that most of your messages have horses in them, and this one doesn't. So I don't know where this is on your land, but that's very powerful. So cool. Yeah. You can, Lav. Yes, you can ask another question. I'm just going to go through the rest of them first, and there's just a couple left. So by all means. Okay, bear with me here. Okay, got. Okay, so I'm going to read Sue's now. And as I mentioned, Sue is that beautiful soul that I told that really potent story to for the very first time. My realization of that, she spurred that. So Sue asks, how can I expand my pet portraits and animal readings to offering something similar, but would offer it to groups instead of one person at a time? I have some guidance on this, but would like some insight if possible. Okay, so I love this because I think that we as human beings think that there's this bridge that we have to go over to gap between working one-on-one and group. My hands are on fire as well too, Sue. I'll have you know that. There's and it's so interesting because I was listening to a podcast today about these legends of the West, and in this podcast it's one from way back in 2018 or 19, and they're talking about Charlie Russell and another gentleman. I think the other guy's name might have been Remington, and that these were two classic artists from the 1800s period, and two of Charlie Russell's things have now sold for something like $500 million. Like, it's just a ridiculous amount. So, and then the Remington guy, like the woman who was talking about this, she's with the WWA, Western Writers Association, and she was talking about this artwork. So there's something about what I'm seeing here. The not recognizing how incredibly good you are is part of that, because these guys were stunned when they were alive and they were getting, say, $1,000 or $10,000 for their artwork, and this was back like a long time ago, like in the 1800s. Okay, so first of all, it's recognizing that you are incredibly good. Okay, you are so on, like, you're on point with your work, with your pet portraits and your animal readings. You're on point. I can see almost like a Teresa Caputo style of doing these readings, where you're more spontaneous, and I think that's what it is you're being directed to recognize that you can do it spontaneously instead of the setup that you might possibly be doing right now with that. Okay, so what I would do is create a Zoom call with a group of people that you feel comfortable with, that you know have had pets, and explore. You will remember possibly that back when I first met you, way back in 2017, 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago now, that I did this thing in a group that we were in, and it was called One-Liners. And I can't believe how powerful it is. And it now is one of those things that provided that quick in and out of the energy. And that's what you can maybe adapt is, I'm going to do one-liners in this group setting. I'm going to do one-liners. Now, you know, for me, I don't do one line. It ends up being like a paragraph or a half a page. Having said that, it's a beautiful way to start. So that's what you're being asked to do, is to offer it in a intimate group that you feel comfortable in. Have that concept of doing, I'm just going to do some one-liners, and I'm going to connect with your pet. You don't need to tell me anything about your pet. Start to trust your confidence. Start to trust your ability. And that's why you're doing it in that small, intimate group first. Okay, because I can see you picking out what the animal's color is, what the animal may be, and what that animal wants to give to that person in that space. Right? Love that. Love that, love that, love, love, love that. Okay, let me just make sure I've gotten everybody here. Yep. Okay. Oh, one more. Two more. Okay, and I'm at 33 minutes. Okay, so Lupe asks, I've been very tight financially. Things keep happening. Car broken, now the fridge. I would appreciate any guidance from Spirit. Thank you. It's so interesting because I see the fridge, but the fridge almost feels like it's a door. It's a portal. Like I'm seeing like a skeleton key. Like, do you know what a skeleton key is? When I talk about a skeleton key, it's like a key of old. And when I say old, I mean like North American old or UK old, English old, like the skeleton key, and how the bottom of it is. And it's got, ooh, that's interesting. Okay, just give me a second here. That the bottom, the hole in the key, meaning the key is this big piece, and then the piece that you hold when you're turning in the lock. It's like shaped like a fridge. It's so bizarre. This little bit that I just experienced, there is a show, I believe it was on Netflix, that was it was really interesting. It was kind of dark, I guess you could say, because these very specific keys opened up portals to really different areas. And it was okay if somebody good had them, but if somebody bad had the keys, it wasn't so good. So there's something very powerful about this. This fridge especially is what's really being honed in on versus the car. And yet the car uses a key, right? So there's something about keys and portals that are happening, and your choice on how you want to be in that space. Let me clear my throat. So what limiting belief is coming up for you around this, or what truth are you being asked to see? And now know that things are for the highest good, for the most benevolent reasons, and the greatest good of all. So when I'm saying that, just because I mentioned dark doesn't mean that I'm telling you that this is dark. Are you looking at it like it's dark? Because you're being asked to shift into what is a lesson here? I'm sure you've heard that before. So there's something about this fridge being a portal, and there's a key. There's something about this key energy, and it feels as though you're wearing the key. So is that key enlightening you, or is that key dragging you down? So is it a limiting belief that you're carrying around with that? Okay. And the last one that I'm reading from my Q&A post bear with me here, is Colleen. And I definitely need to clear my throat. There's something really aggravating it here. Hang on a second. Okay, so Colleen asks, I have been researching different frequencies or hertz in music. Does Spirit have any recommendations as to which hertz would benefit me for my highest good? I love this question. You know, back in November of 2023, I was sitting in my living room, and I made a choice to go onto YouTube and type in frequencies of music. And I can't remember what it was, and then I just, whatever one came up that caught my eye, and I don't think it was the first one. I think it was like the second or third one. That's what I listened to. And in that moment that I started listening to that, that's when the dragon energy, and especially the inner dragon energy, really came in very, very powerfully. So there's something massive to what you're asking with this about the different frequencies or hertz in music. Does Spirit have any recommendations as to which hertz would benefit me for my highest good? 528 is coming through immediately, and I think 528, I believe 528 is the hertz of love. So there's something powerful in that one. So it's 528 is being recommended, or whatever that number is that's closest to that. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. So I'm coming around to you again, Lav, and then Leslie. Hi, ladies. Okay, so Lavs, any guidance on how to reduce my CK levels? Now, know that I have no idea what you mean, so let me just kind of tap into this. The first thing that I'm seeing is it's not a needle, but it's like a plunger of something, not a goose, not a turkey plunger, when you're basting something, but something that you're giving something instead. And it's almost like, I'm also seeing like the two together. So like there's an epoxy. So there's something about doing two things coming together. Now, if it was K levels, I know that that's possibly potassium and fibromyalgia. I'm not sure if I'm on the right direction or not, but there's something that's not in balance right now, and so figuring that out. Now, for yourself, Lav, there's a couple different ways to do this. One is going to an herbologist, a naturopath, what have you, but it's also too possibly a matter of checking on, like with a pendulum, have the words written down. Like, is it this side? Is it this side? Like, is it food, rest? Is it drink? Whatever the things is. And I'm not even sure what, like you wrote what that is, creatine kinase. I don't know what that is. So I'm answering this to the best of my channeled ability here. But I'm definitely seeing, like first it was the not a plunger, but you know, if you're giving a pet medicine or an infant medicine and it comes in it's not an eyedropper, but it's something that they've pulled something in and they squish it back into you. And then I'm seeing the epoxy type that has the two that get squirted out. So that to me means that there's something about balance there. There's something that's not in balance, and that's what they're asking you to look at, is what's out of balance. Okay. Yeah, so what's out of balance for you? Okay. And so yeah, I'm not going to take that any further because I have things. I'm just seeing what else wants to come through. There's a specific flower. There's a specific flower coming in too. So what flower is popping in for you right now, Lav, that might have to do with what this is, okay, for the balance? Because there might be, like, I don't know, sunflower oil. That's not the flower I'm seeing just by, but I don't know. There's a reason why it came up, right? Okay, beautiful. And Leslie, Leslie asked, do you see any details on jobs for me in the near future? Well, I'm seeing something that you're enjoying, and it's something that I think that maybe you haven't thought of, or feel that you haven't thought of. It's so interesting because I mentioned to somebody in their readings the other day to not say I think, and here I am, I'm saying I think. Because this is being channeled, so it's not necessarily me thinking this, right? Okay, so I'm feeling as though this is, like, I could see you having fun. It's almost as though you might have not necessarily an apron on, and it's not necessarily a uniform, but there's something that you're wearing, and that this is not a place that you would have thought you'd be working. And it's not McDonald's, okay, just to FYI you. But it's something that you are definitely having a people conversations. And it's so comical because I'm thinking about this one beautiful soul that I've been talking with, and they were working, and I've done this as well, working at a golf course, right? So I'm not sure, like, if that's totally out of the norm for you, but it seems like it's somewhere where you're in the midst of, like, there's a lot happening, but it's outside, it's enjoying life, and it's the camaraderie, and there's something about it being, it's freeing on one hand, and yet it's not like it's a stepping stone, because I don't feel like this is something where I'm not getting a sense of urgency, okay, Leslie? What I'm getting a sense of is finding something that feeds joy into your life in this space. That's what I'm getting the sense of right now, is feeling this sense of joy that's coming into your life because of the people that you're meeting. And that's the power of this. Okay, Leslie? Wow. Okay. I think that's it. I'll just make sure there's no comments on there, and there isn't. You guys have been absolutely magical. I've had a lot of fun doing this. Thanks, Maria. Yeah, life is really interesting. And if anything in here resonated with any of you that wasn't necessarily for you specifically, then flow with that. Know that those messages were for you as well. And if you have a further question that maybe there's just that one little sticking point, then feel free to message me or leave a comment under the feed of these on YouTube or on Facebook. Okay? I love you guys. Have a magical rest of the evening. Take care, everybody. Thank you.